Good evening, everyone. I'm here at the cottage doing the meeting tonight because I can. It's so exciting to be able to have this virtual business that we can do from anywhere as long as we have internet connection. And I just came back from a very busy weekend down at the Highland Games, which is a big tradition for our family. And the weekend's not over, so we're at the cottage, and I almost forgot actually that today was landing on the first Monday of the month. And I thought, well, I know I can get internet up at the cottage, so why not get it going up there? And it only doesn't take too long. So big thing for me right now is to continue momentum and keep the meetings going no matter what. So I could have easily said, oh, it's a holiday, I just won't do it tonight. But I decided it was, a good decision to do it anyway. So right now we are waiting for a few people to get on the call, but I decided I'd like to start exactly on time, and we're recording this as well. So anybody who has missed the beginning, they can watch it back. And there's a few things that we were going to cover on the call tonight, and we'll make it pretty quick, being that most people are at home and getting over a busy long weekend. But it's August 1st, so we're coming into a really exciting, busy time for Arbonne and your business. September, October, November, December is a huge quarter in our business. So August is a great time to get revved up for that. And I always say that doing your business in the summer is always, to me, it's the easiest. It's easy to get around. It's easy to move. I like to set up a cooler in my car so that if I have product in the car with me, hi, Suzanne.
Hello.
Hi. And I like to have my cooler in my car with product in there so that nothing gets too hot. I put cooler packs in there, and I just bring stuff with me all the time, regardless if I have a meeting or not. I just like to have things with me so that I'm always prepared, depending on who I meet. I was just saying that I was away on the weekend, and I could have very easily left a lot of stuff at home. It's a place where everyone's eating a lot of takeout food, it's chip stands, things like that, which I did have some of that. I won't tell a lie, but I brought my protein shake, I brought my greens, I brought my fizz sticks, I brought my Fido for myself, and just, you never know who you're going to meet. I was in a place where there's a lot of people, so it was great to have that stuff with me, in case something came up. And sure enough, because I had my protein shake stuff out, one of the girls that we were staying with, she asked me questions right away about it. I never even brought it up. Because I had it with me and it was out on the table, which I did on purpose, right? So, and people just, she had questions. So that right there is your first initial conversations and connections and people getting interest. Hi, Poonam.
Hi.
Nice to see you. We've kind of already just kind of got started here, but I'll let you guys come in a few minutes. I just have a couple things that I wanted to cover. Yeah, so it was awesome to be out on vacation, but also, I just lost my screen here. 1 second. But also be able to spread the word and just having things in view, which is really, really cool. So I'm at the cottage right now, which is, I had already said previously because I started my recording that it's pretty awesome to be able to do this from here. It was kind of last minute decision for me to come up here this afternoon, and I was thinking, what do I do about the meeting? And I'm like, no, bring your laptop and just get it done. So anyway, I'm glad to see you girls on the call, and I wanted to say congratulations to Poonam because she just went area qual in July. I don't know if you've heard that or not, Suzanne.
I did not.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
So, and this is a girl that I have been spending time with for several months now. So I kind of have some inside scoop on what her life is like. She has 3 boys. She's a single mom, very busy life, you know, works outside of Arbonne as well. And she got it done, you know, like going area qual is huge. And I'm so excited for you, Poonam. And I'm so proud.
Thank you.
Yeah, when
Thank
I
you.
saw that post, like it's even making me teary-eyed right now. Like it's so exciting to be, you know, so proud for other people. Like, you know, we're all in this together and we know what it's like and what we go through to get to these places. So I'm so proud of you and I'm so happy for you. And so the other thing I think we were gonna cover was some of the new PC perks, which I have a thing here, so I'm just going to read right off of it, because Susanna and I were talking how it was like, it sounded good, but we weren't really taking it in. It was something we sort of felt like we had to look at it more than once to remember exactly what all the changes were. So I figure going over it a few times is good to remember it and be able to tell our PCs when we see them. I'm just going to open this now. I wonder if I can share the screen. I don't know. Let me just see here. Okay, I think I'll just read it off. So I think the biggest thing that I'm so excited about with the new preferred client program is the options for free shipping. This is something I know that everyone has, you know, been wondering about, curious. A lot of people do think our shipping is a little high, and I have to say that I have agreed with that. So I think it's awesome that Arbonne is starting to make the changes to continue to, you know, make us happy, make our preferred clients happier. So I'm just going to read a few things from that now to help us internalize it and memorize it. So it's the same sign-up fee, which is $24 for Canada. I'm not sure, what is it for you, Suzanne, for the States?
20.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm just looking at a little slideshow here, so as it comes up. So again, we still get the same 20% off, and that's all year long as we're used to. And we can get free shipping on qualifying orders. I'm also just gonna open this up here. So preferred clients still get a free product with their first order. We will always remind them of that. Something's not coming up here, 1 second.
And the shipping is on their next order.
Right, so if they spend, yeah, it's 300 QV to get free shipping on the next one, yeah. And also what we're familiar with is the 40% off special value pack. So that's a fantastic way for us to promote becoming a PC, because they have that available to them all year long, and awesome products to choose from. Oh, what else do we have here? So now the thing that we kind of have to pay attention to is the rewards. So that's changed a little bit. So let me I'm just waiting for it to come up here. Free gifts, some products. Right, so with the initial 300 SRP, they can get, well, on this one it says they get instant free shipping. So is that on the first order? Are you familiar with that, Poonam?
Hello? Yeah. Yeah, I am. I just checked out the new program and I actually really like it. I was surprised yesterday when I was placing some of the post-reward orders for my PCs.
Yeah.
And I saw like they were, you know, that they were able to get free shipping and everything. So like I find it now it's actually so much easier to get sales because they don't have to worry about, you know, like, or they can actually like add more to their order or combine orders and stuff like that and not have to pay shipping.
Right, right, right. Awesome. And then they get to choose their free gift from a pre-selected list. And sorry, some of this stuff is kind of repeating itself, so I'm just okay, so how to earn free shipping on your first order. So yes, you can get free shipping on your first order, but then I think after that you have to have 300 to get it on the following order, if I'm understanding that correctly. So then if you have an order that equals 360 to 539, you get free shipping plus $12 off your next order. So this is where they're not getting reward dollars anymore, but they're getting money, a certain amount of money off their order. And then the next one is if their order equals $540 to $719, they'll get free shipping plus $24 off their next order. And I believe it goes up from there, which $720 plus, they get the free shipping plus $36 off their next order. And so then for renewal, it's going to be $24. However, if they have $720 SRP within that year, the fee is waived. So I would imagine almost every PC would have their fee waived for the renewal, which is, I really like that. That's awesome. Let's see what else is here. You have the list of special value packs, which are pretty much the same now as before. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. That's any of the new stuff. Everything else is pretty much the same. So let me just come back to my screen. So we congratulated Poonam. I don't know if you had something you wanted to talk about, Poonam? I don't know if she's still here. If not, I'll wait for her to come back. I actually came across another note, which I thought was super, super inspiring and motivating. So anyone who's a new consultant, we want to welcome you and congratulate you for making the choice to build a multi-million-dollar business. And I think sometimes it takes a bit of time to get used to saying those words, because sometimes it's hard for us to believe that we actually are running a multi-million-dollar business. But the more you say it, I think the more you're going to feel that purpose and pride in what you're doing, and it's going to really motivate you to keep treating your business as that. And the question is did you reach your goal for July? If so, we applaud you. If not, then guess what? August is a brand new month. July is behind us, so now we just need to look ahead. So have you set your goals for August? Have you set your goals for the next 90 days? Have you written down these goals? We want to remember that an unwritten goal is merely a wish. So do you have a plan of action? And I have to admit, this is one of the things that I still need to get better at. I kind of go back and forth a little bit from writing out goals. I tend to kind of just keep moving. And then once I'm reminded to, have specific goals and write them down, then I'm like, oh yeah, and then I do it, So it's still getting in the habit of doing those things. So that's why we always need reminders. I see I have a chat note here, so I'll just take a look at what that is. Okay, no problem. So Poonam's just stepping it aside for a minute. So I'll just keep reading this. What do you think of, what do you think of the people who are being promoted to area manager or RVP? Do you think they're any different than you? And a lot of times we can think that. that it was easier for them, that they were lucky. And really the reality is that no, they're no different than you or I. It's a level playing field. We all have the same products, the same tools, and the same compensation plan. So the only variable is you. There comes a time in your life and in your business when you're going to say enough is enough. And, you know, you have to know for yourself that you deserve for your dreams to become a reality, for success, that you deserve success, and that you can do this. Everything starts with a decision. And you basically have to ask yourself, have I made that decision? And you'll know it. It's a feeling. When you've made a decision, you really feel it, and you just start to do things in a bit of a different way. There's a different momentum. And I think it comes at different times for different people, and that's okay. I think the biggest thing is to stay in the game, stay plugged in, stay involved with your team, go to your meetings, keep reading your personal development books. These are all the things that are like, it's like growing a garden, you know? You have like your seeds, you have your dirt, you have your water, you need the sun, you need the air, all of these different little things that are feeding into this thing. And, you know, over time, then all of a sudden, you know, something blooms. And that's when you're like, oh my goodness, okay, I get it. Now I have it. So let me just see where I am here. Your decision that needs to be backed up by activity. So activity cures everything. I've had days where I don't want to do anything. And the longer I'm in this business, you know, I just keep telling myself, if I'm having a day like that, I'll tell myself, just do one thing. Just contact one person. And usually once I make that one contact, all of a sudden I get an idea, or I get the energy to do my next contact. And then all of a sudden that thought of what I didn't want to do is behind me. So if you're having a really bad day where you feel like, oh my gosh, I just don't want to do any of it, just do one thing and see what happens. And then if you can get yourself to do one more thing, you know, just do it that way. Kind of be easy on yourself. Don't be too hard on yourself, but try to keep doing as best you can. So activity cures everything. Stop telling yourself the stories that are no longer serving you. So the time has come to change that cassette. If you really want to promote to the next level and build a bigger business, you'll figure it out, period. So believe in I believe in each and every one of you, and so does your RVP, but nobody can do it for you, right? That's, you know, that can sometimes be the hard part, but we have so many great people to follow. So I think in a lot of ways we have it easy too. So who wants to be with us at the white party next year? You know, you want to build these visions and goals ahead of time. So regardless of what your business looks like today, you know, you can do that for the next year. And do you believe it? So you have to have the belief in yourself. Who will be walking on that stage next year as a new AM or an RVP? And believing that your dreams are within reach. This can be another thing that we need to build, right? So you have to keep having those visions, do your vision boards, saying, you know, certain affirmations to yourself on a regular basis. The only limits are the ones you impose on yourself. So write down on a piece of paper what your life would look like if you had more money and more time. The freedom that is priceless, right? When I first came into this business, I had a lot of freedom and flexibility already, but there was a cap on the income that that was available to me. So the fact that this has freedom and flexibility and no cap on income, that was like, oh my gosh, I've hit the jackpot. Like I felt like I found that final layer to my cake to have everything that I ever wanted. So the freedom is priceless. And then what are you willing to do for that freedom? You know, I've heard many times VPs will say in the first, you know, it's like a certain chunk in time in your business where you want to work like nobody else would to make this happen, to get the momentum going. And it's just for a short period of time. So we don't have to do that all the time, which is pretty incredible. And what are you willing to do to secure, say, your children's financial future, Or what are you willing to do for your why? So that's another thing, you know, each person's why is different. So I encourage you all to write down your goals, establish your plan of action, make a decision today that enough's enough and that you too deserve success. So that's kind of like my little motivational speech in a nutshell. And I don't know if any of the other girls have anything else to add, but the floor is yours if you do.
Go ahead. Now.
Yeah, hi. Sorry. I didn't realize I didn't unmute myself. I actually just kind of wanted to talk about, like, you know, finding your why. I think that is huge, and I think Dawn covered everything, like, amazing. Thank you, Dawn. Like, it was really good training. I love how you always show up, no matter who's you know, who's here or not. You're always there, and that's what you have to do to be a leader. You really have to always show up, and I think that's one thing that, you know, like, I consistently did, but then the part that I was lacking was, you know, like, building belief in myself and, you know, making that decision. But when you believe in, like, when you work on believing in yourself, you start eventually, you know, being able to get to the next step, which is, you know, doing the activity and not being fearful of the results, and just focusing on the action. And that comes with, like, knowing your why. And when you have a strong why, you really don't care who comes into your business, who leaves, whether you promote or not, because in your mind, you know that you're going to be at the top of the company no matter what. You're a lifer, you've committed to it. So you're not going anywhere. All you have to do is just keep getting better. And eventually the only way up is, like, you know, like, the only place to go is to the top of the company. So there's no loss in just basically trying to figure yourself out, being like kind to yourself. So finding your why, one of the things that I found is that I had to really dig deep, because in the beginning my why was very, very, very basic. I wanted to be home with my kids, you know, but then I used them as the excuse as well. I used my why as an excuse. I would say, well, you know, they keep me busy, time flies so quickly, I have no idea when to find time because I'm always doing stuff with them. The second they come home, I can't do anything. So I always found, like, ways to make my why my excuse. It wasn't deep enough. Not that I don't love my children and I don't, like, that I do want to be home with them, but it's more about, you know, like, what else would it mean for you to be home with your kids? Would it mean that you'd be able to give them better guidance? Maybe you know, you'd be more present in their life so they can share with you when things get tough for them, you know, as they grow older. Like, you have to really dig deep and find something that, like, keep digging deeper and asking questions, like, what does it mean for you to be home with your children? What does it mean to have financial freedom? Whatever your why is, just ask further questions until you reach a point where, you know, you have a knot in your heart, you want to cry, you know, like, that's when you know that you found your why. And write it down, and that's going to push you, because I had to do that. I really had to dig deep to find what it was. Why am I a lifer with Arbonne? Because I'm sure in my head I've quit quite a few times. I knew I wasn't going to quit out loud, but, you know, there were days where I was like, am I even meant for this business? Maybe I'm not a right fit. Maybe everybody else can have this, but I can't. But it wasn't even about that. I made it about me instead of my why. You know, my ego was hurt or whatever was hurt, and I kept focusing on that. And once I shifted that to my why, it didn't matter whether people left my business or whether I thought that I wasn't good enough for it. It just mattered that I made it happen for my why, you know? So I think that's one of the things that people really need to dig deep whenever they come into the business. Even now, like, when people join me, I just sponsored a new consultant 2 days ago. And one of the things that now that I do is I do ask them, like, what is your why? Tell me your story. Like, she contacted me. She wanted to find out how to become a consultant. And I asked her if she knew anyone else or if anyone talked to her about Arbonne. She's like, no, just a friend mentioned that it's a great vegan company. I'm like, does that friend that mentioned it to you do Arbonne? She's like, no, she doesn't. She just heard of it. So I just wanted to Google and research. And she, like, pretty much researched it herself. And the person that referred her to me is actually a henna client of mine. And it's so funny how it all happened, because when I was doing my henna and she was asking me a ton of questions about my other source of income. You know, I was being very vague. You know, I was like, yes, I have another business, not because I wasn't proud of it. It's because I've learned now to kind of not talk more and listen more. So I just kind of kept rerouting the questions to her. What do you do? What is it that you do, and stuff like that. So as I kept talking and she kept trying to ask me more and more about Arbonne, you know, I just was very like low key, no pressure. You know, I told her I love the products. And then on their own, they kept just offering to like send clients towards me. They're like, oh, I know a friend that has eczema. Oh, I know someone that could be great for this, and so on. So she had messaged me and she said, I have a friend that wants to become a distributor. And I met up with her on a one-on-one. And instead of being like, hey, let's get you started and I'm going to go over the Discover Arbonne and you're going to join me, I actually asked her about herself. I'm like, so tell me a little bit about you. And that's what I do now. I want to know the person that's coming into my team. I want to know that they have a why that will push them and that will make them, give them that drive and commitment, you know, to keep going and to stay coachable. So I think once you have that, you know, even if you've been in the business a long, long time, choose for yourself what type of consultant you're going to be on your team. I think one of the things that stuck with me that Cecilia Stoll said, I think last year's CNTC, is that be the best consultant on your team. And that's what I've been working on. I still have failures. I still have days where I fall, you know, fall off track. But, you know, it's just when you have that like that why, that's the decision, that's the shift that happens. And then you just keep going no matter what. So I think that's all I wanted to share. I don't know. I didn't really write it down anywhere. I'm just kind of winging it, but I just felt really passionately about it because for me to get back to area qual after almost 3 years,
Yeah.
like, you know, I just like yesterday I kept crying and it was so overwhelming. I'm just like, it still feels surreal.
Yeah.
But you know, it's been a long journey. It's been a long journey, but it's very internal, very spiritual. You know, like it's been all about self growth. Sorry, my kids are still awake. I was hoping they would be asleep. So I'm gonna stop talking because there's gonna be a lot of background noise.
No worries. That's good. Thank you so much, Poonam. Suzanne, I don't know if you had anything that you wanted to share or.
Good question.
Yeah. No pressure, just wondering.
Yeah, no, I just want to congratulate Poonam. That was excellent for going area, and really proud that you got to go along with her, Dawn, and share that journey with her, and I got to see a little piece of it, so that's really fun.
Yeah.
I think the thing that you and I talked about before was Jane Gardner just went region, and what she was saying was that I asked her what the biggest surprise, I guess, was that she had from that. And what she said was the difference was when she actually found people that were ready to do the business and were anxious and excited to step forward and do something with their lives rather than the people that she'd been dragging along with her. And I think that was really, really a huge piece for her, and it was really interesting to listen to. I also asked her how many people that she had active on her team right now that got her to where she is at, and it was 15 people. 15 people being active. So I'm a visual girl, so I like to see that. So I have my 15 spaces written out on a little sticky note already for our team. So start filling those names in. Yeah, so that was interesting to me to hear her experience.
Awesome. Yeah, it's such a different shift when you kind of decide like you're not going to drag anyone, like you were saying, and I can tell so quickly with people on my team when they join, you know, where their head's at and things like that, and it's totally okay. I love how our VPs will always say, "Love people where they're at," and and it just makes it so much easier on us because then we can just kind of focus. We can still, you know, be in contact and help them where they're at, but we're just like, okay, who else is out there? Who's next, kind of thing.
Right.
And yeah, so it's a good feeling.
Yeah, I know in the beginning it's really easy to believe people on their intentions rather than their actions.
Yeah.
And I think that's something to really pay attention to.
Mhm. Yeah. So good. Well, I think that pretty much concludes for tonight. Being that we don't have guests on, I think that would be, we've kind of plugged in quite a bit of information in the half hour, and it's
Absolutely.
recorded, so I'll put it up if people want to watch it back, and prepare for the next one.
That's perfect. I did forget to wish you a happy holiday out there. What is the holiday?
You know what? I don't know.
Well, I looked it up. It said Civic Day. What is?
Yeah, I'm not really sure. To be
You have
honest.
to celebrate.
Family Day, I think, at one point. So I don't know if that's what it is. Is it?
What is it?
Is that a different day in the month, in the year?
I think that's a different day.
Oh, okay. I have no idea either. I completely forgot it was a long weekend. So
Yeah. So everyone's just happy that most people have today off. So
Right. Yeah. Totally get it. A day at the cottage.
yeah, no kidding.
Perfect.
All right, ladies. Well, we shall be talking to you soon, and that's basically, I guess that's it for now.
Absolutely. Thank you both.
Okay, we'll talk to you soon.
thank you.
Okay.
Take care.
Bye,
Take
bye,
care.
girl.